So now we started the recording.
Okay.
And it will be, I have a post-production, so I can do editing as necessary.
Okay. Sure.
And then I will upload this interview. I use a service called Spreaker.
Okay.
And we also can be found on the iTunes.
Okay.
Apple download. So once the post-production is complete, I will give you the URL.
Sure.
So you can inform your clients, your friends, your family.
Of course.
To hear our little production.
Yeah,
anyway,
that'll be exciting.
So that's very, very, very straightforward. Okay. Excuse me. And it begins. Welcome. My name is Russell Van. This is the Customer Focused Marketing Podcast. And today we invite a new friend to the show, Miss Sweeney Mae, and she's the owner and founder of Events in the City L.A. Welcome, Miss Sweeney.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Russell.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I really feel that this is going to be exciting because I was introduced, or I was kind of made my way to finding your page, Events in the City. Tell us, my listeners and myself, what is the mission of Events in the City? What do you do?
Sure. Well, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Sweeney Mae. Like Russell said, I'm owner of Events in the City L.A., a premier event planning and marketing consulting services. My company has been around for a little bit over 3 years, and we pride ourselves with creating meaningful and tasteful events for friends, families, and professional settings. We also assist business owners and with marketing, social media, and promotional strategies. We're very experienced, having coordinated over 600 events, and probably have worked with over 50 businesses and organizations since our inception. Our mission is to provide a premier event planning and marketing consulting service with significant attention to details that will fit our clients' needs and budget.
So like you were saying, you do business and corporate alongside with personal and individuals?
That's right. And, what's funny how I landed into doing that is when I first actually was in Seattle before coming to L.A., and myself and two other friends were sitting together, and we were thinking about, let's start something. We were not fresh out of college, maybe 2 years after college, and, that's when corporate started laying off people, so we said, let's start something of our own so we have a plan B in case we get laid off too.
Right.
So we started with weddings. It was actually what really started off Events in the City. And me and my two other friends are big fans of Sex in the City, so that's why we named it Events in the City.
Is that right?
Yes. So we were sitting there like, what are we going to name it? What are we going to name it? And the one show that we can't get our eyes out of the television when it comes on is Sex in the City. So we said, let's name it Events in the City, So whatever city we're in, whatever city the event is in, that's a fitting name, Events in the City. So we decided on that name, and we started with just weddings and parties and all of that good stuff. But me, I'm more on like the fashion show and the fundraisers, and that's how the corporate and the business side came about. The other friend of mine that also co-owns the one in Seattle, she loves weddings. So that's why we're a little bit more well-rounded. So when I explain it to people, basically, if you have an event, we can do it for you, whatever that event is.
So how are you connected with Seattle? I mean, just being during the introduction, we're saying Events in the City L.A. So I'm saying you are in California.
Right. So
and you do have ties with
yeah,
Washington?
Of course. As a matter of fact, I have a wedding client for next year, May. So I started working with her already with her wedding, and so I lived in Seattle for about 7 years. So I think the bulk of my friends are still down there, and the bulk of my contacts are also, I won't say the bulk of my contacts, but I have a lot of contacts still in Seattle. So when I decided to move to L.A., I was still functioning as Events in the City. And then just earlier last year, I decided I wanted to open one just L.A., just for L.A. So that's hence the name Events in the City L.A.
So now you have multiple office locations. Right. So being that you said that like up to 600 events so far since you've actually opened this endeavor.
Yes.
Well, now I usually talk to a lot of small business people and solopreneurs, mompreneurs, people who have a home office of sorts. And it seems like your business has grown.
Yes.
It's doing well. What is your staffing needs?
Here in LA, I actually have a partner, and she's also into the events. And then as far as staffing, we normally don't really, so far we haven't had the need to. The first time we'll ever need staffing is for a big event that we're planning on next year, March. And we're planning on hiring a staffing agency. But so far we haven't had a need to either. It's just me and my partner, and then we have 1 or 2 interns, or sometimes other friends that want to help, or other people who are interested in learning the business. We try and just have them with us to help us with any event.
Yeah, so like, do you use any like virtual assistants since you don't actually need a physical person all the time?
I haven't yet needed a virtual assistant because I usually have a handful of people who are ready to help and willing to help, or even for a fee or whatnot. So I actually at this point I already know who to go to for certain things that I need. So I haven't taken advantage of virtual assistants, and I know they're out there because I've met owners of people that have companies that offer virtual assistants.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's talk about your clients.
Sure.
Where do you find these people, or do they find you?
Actually, I think it's 50-50 because I'm very into community events, and I do a lot of events that benefit me in the end, and not necessarily that they hired me to do it. Sometimes I come up with my own idea. I find people to partner with, and let's say I'm in a city and I'm like, oh, let's do a health fair. So I'll call people up in that area and I say, hey, why don't we do a health fair together? And it's not necessarily something I get paid up front, but maybe we take the proceeds and pay ourselves that way. And then out of that, I meet so many people, and then one or two out of one event that I do will at least come to me for something, for either events or marketing.
That's excellent exposure. You can't
Yeah, I really
that.
put myself out there, yeah. I mean, just to tell you a really story I'm really proud of. When I moved from Seattle to L.A., I actually used to work for Macy's as an assistant buyer, and they laid me off. They offered me to move to New York. I don't want to live in New York. So I told myself, it's time to move to L.A. because I've been talking about it, joking about it, and I'm tired of the rainy days in Seattle. So I moved to L.A. with a job, actually. So my first strategy was I went on Craigslist and looked for community events that I can volunteer or even maybe get paid to do. So I found this one event. It was a diversity award for Multicultural Pictures Association, MPAA. And come to, find out they're a really big foundation in Hollywood. So I offered my assistance as a volunteer. I mean, I wasn't, trying to get paid. They don't know me, so why would they pay me? You know what I mean? I've never had any client in L.A., so I told myself, hey, let me help. And then they said, okay, well, if you find any sponsors, you get a percentage of it. I was like, sure. I don't even know if I could find any because I haven't been in L.A. in a few months yet. So I helped out. I helped out with the dinner, with the auction and the dinner part of the event, and also the red carpet. And they had Morris Chestnut there. They had Taraji P. Henson. They had the cast of Twilight. They had LL Cool J there. It was such a good event that I volunteered, and then that's really when I got my first 2 clients in L.A. So after
with the volunteering, did they use you for what you do, or did they use you because they need you to fill in?
They actually use me to fill in, but as I started working with them, they realized I have experience in certain things that they're doing that they don't have someone in charge of. So I was able to put my input. I wasn't even trying to take the lead on anything. I was just trying to offer my help. Okay, and then on things that they're working on, I'm like, okay, maybe what about if you do this? What about if you do that? They like some of my ideas, and the CEO of that foundation, or the founder of that nonprofit, actually referred me to other clients after that.
So referrals, I'm sure that has to be another part of your strategy to expose yourself to more and more of the public.
Definitely. And what I find the clients that always 90% of my clients always refer me, and that's because I always do my job quickly. So, another thing that I do is I sometimes help other people with their branding and marketing as far as their brochures or flyers or business cards, because I'm really, really a big fan of people who really take the time to make sure that the business card looks right, their flyers are quality, and all of that good stuff.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
I'm also a skilled graphic designer. So a lot of my clients that I do graphic designs for, I can usually turn it around in 1 or 2 days. And they're usually like, wow, I've never worked with anyone faster than you. So not only will they refer me to do their friends' flyers or business cards, they also refer me when I tell them exactly what else I do to other people that they know.
Sweeney, you sound like you're a one-stop shop here.
That's really what I would like to be.
and you're wearing all the hats. You're making the coffee and you're pushing out the business cards on the other end.
Yeah, and I love doing that. And, at some point I ran into people that said, no, you have to find a focus. I'm like, maybe I do, but maybe I don't. I enjoy doing everything because then I'm not stuck doing one thing all the time. I don't want to do weddings all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do one thing all the time.
Variety is excellent.
Yeah.
That's what I actually enjoy doing, what I do with the show, talking to various people with various talents, and the conversation is mixed and diverse, and that's what keeps me intrigued. I hope that this show and this presentation will help other people, especially those are looking for clients, are looking for customers. How do other people do it? Not necessarily the competition, but we can learn something from various, different companies, different styles of business, from corporate to self-proprietary. It's just what can work here can also work there. You find that the similarities are very beneficial.
Right. And for me, I know a lot of people are always like, oh, I don't want to do free work. My work costs, and, I'm there's a value to what I do. And it's not that I do free work, but there's definitely things that I choose to do that may not have a cash value up front, but I definitely see a benefit out of it. Just like I said,
it's delayed gratification, because you're not getting paid monetarily up front, but on the back end, you now have a new contact. You now told other people what you do, and you show them who you are, that you're a real person. Right. That's excellent.
Yeah, and then you mentioned earlier I wear different hats, and I actually write a blog, and the blog is called PinayofAllTrades.com, and Pinay is actually like a slang for Filipina, because I'm a Filipina. So PinayofAllTrades.com, that's where I usually write the blogs, and if you ever get a chance to read it or visit it, you'll see I really talk about different things that I do, and you'll see what different things I do.
And when do you find time to keep up with a blog on top of your client list?
Just of lately, I had to really tell myself to be consistent. So just like my last blog I wrote last night and published this morning. Like, I try to make sure I have something out there once a week at the very least, because I would love to have a book one day. And that would be the easiest way, is to already have all the content in one place. So like I said, you got to think of the future, you know. So I'm thinking of the future. I would like to have a book one day about marketing and events. And if I write a blog now, not only will it be seen by many people now, but maybe later on it could be used for something else.
All right. Now, I understand you getting out into the community and volunteering and getting together, gatherings and events. Is there an event that you would not do?
There are a few events I haven't done, therefore I may not be as comfortable doing them, like a bar mitzvah. I'm not familiar with that culture. So as someone that, I wouldn't be putting myself out there to do a bar mitzvah. I mean, or a quinceañera. So those are really like culture specific, which I can, I'm confident with myself enough to say I don't have enough experience with. So those are the type of things that sometimes I know that I don't have enough experience with, therefore I'm not going to be putting myself out there that I could do. But as far as like fashion show, fundraisers, speaking events, conferences, expos, vendor fairs, weddings, birthdays, all of that is good to go.
All right. Is there a minimum size that you would?
No, I don't. Well, you're going to laugh at me. Speaking of different hats. I also teach Zumba. I'm a Zumba instructor, and I've gone to a private party with like 5 people because it was like somebody's bachelorette party, so that my client wanted to announce to her friends that they are going to be the bridesmaids, but within that she wanted to do a Zumba with all her friends, and there's a total of 5 of them. So that's the smallest event I've probably ever done.
Oh my goodness. That's incredible. That's actually a good story.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was in high school or college years, I used to have a dance group and dance. But as you grow older, you're in the corporate world or the business world. I don't get to dance as much, especially that I'm not like a professional dancer like you'd see on TV. But I still love to dance. And since Zumba is so hot right now, so I said, why not get certified? So I did, and I teach Zumba actually like 2 times a week to force myself to work out as a part of my work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking it's life, or work-life balance, but when I do teach my Zumba, I do force myself to work out, but I get paid to teach. So I get paid to work out.
You find benefit in that too. Now,
right.
Being busy. Now, I'm trying to establish a go-to question, and what I've so far come up with is everyone is using technology, and I want to see what technology do you favor? I mean, are you an Apple or are you a Mac? I'm
a PC person, but I do have an iPhone, and I have an iPad. But I also have an Android phone.
So you have an iPhone and an Android phone? Yes.
Mm-hmm. And this is mainly because the two, I'm launching a mobile app soon, and the 2 different phones really function differently. And my app developer says that it's the 2 different markets that really have different ways of getting the app approved. So I thought, like, hey, I mean, I might as well get an iPhone just to make sure both phones are working the mobile app is working on both phones.
So was that the primary reason why you got the second phone? To make sure your app worked on the other platform? Yes, because when I look at some of my clients' website traffic, and when it comes to the traffic that is coming from the mobile, it's still really predominantly from an iPhone. Very popular. Yeah. The iPhone is very popular still. Right. I personally prefer the Galaxy, but many, many people have iPhones. Now, let me ask you, what about any paid advertising? Do you subscribe to doing that? What I've found to work for me the best is the Facebook targeted advertising, because I think it's affordable, number one, and number two, you can really
you can really target your audience. You want the people within your zip code, 10 miles radius of your zip code, male, female, people who are friends with your friends, people who are not friends with you. Like you're able to choose who can see your ad, and then you pay when they actually click on your ad. So for me, that's been more of a bang for my buck.
So social media, right. And specifically the Facebook.
Right.
Would you say that's what works for you mainly?
Yes, definitely. And then the other one that's worked for me before, depending on an event that I'm doing, I try and find a local blogger that really has a lot of following, and I ask them how much they would charge if they write an article about the event or they advertise the event for their followers. And that has been really helpful, too, because some of the local bloggers, even though they have 5,000 followers, it's usually within their area. And if out of that 5,000 followers, 50 to 60 people come, I would consider my ad successful.
Yeah. I get it. I do.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad that you were able to give me a few minutes to expose me to your world.
No problem. I love that someone like you would like to know about it.
Now, I'm going to ask, there may be some listeners of mine who would like to get in touch with you. You do the consulting, so if they need to ask you any specific questions to the things that you are good at, and we already got a list of them,
okay.
Maybe we should do a little review of what you provide and how they can reach you.
Sure. I can really help anyone or any business owners that are looking to do an event and you really need help. If it is a personal event like a wedding, a birthday party, an anniversary, I can do those. I do have clients that I've done those events for. Or if you're a business owner and you're looking for someone to help you with your grand opening, I've done those too, where I organize everything. I invite the mayor, I invite the council members. I do a red carpet and make sure that everything's all set, and all you got to do is look good, shake hands, and smile for the camera. I can do those too. Or if you are in need of some consulting, especially if you're just starting, you need your flyers to look good, your brochures, or your business cards, or your website, and especially social media. I'm very well versed in all those areas because my background really is marketing. And I'm very passionate about marketing because I believe that everybody needs to really pay attention with their image, because image is everything, especially these days with the social media. So if you need any services or any help with any of those areas, you can definitely go on my website at eventsinthecityla.com.
Very good. Ms. Sweeney Mae,
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russell.
My listeners, thank you. And including all my listeners here in the United States and around the world. This is our new friend, Ms. Sweeney Mae, Events in the City L.A. And that's it. We're done.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll be writing to you shortly. And
okay.
Say my turnaround day is about 48 hours.
No problem.
And
I appreciate
I'll
it.
put something in your inbox.
Okay. Thank you so much, Russell.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.